What did the prince say to the bully? It's no joke. Prince George is sticking up for himself using the full weight of his royal status. When you're a member of the royal family, it's safe to say people are probably going to treat you a little differently, particularly if you're one of the most visible members of the royals who will more than likely become king one day. It sounds like Prince George is all too aware of his family's status. The oldest child of the Prince and Princess of Wales clearly knows how to keep the kids in his classroom in line, according to royal journalist Katie Nichols' upcoming book, The New Royals: Queen Elizabeth's Legacy and the Future of the Crown. The royal correspondent reveals a cheeky moment the young royal had with one of his classmates, writing, "George understands he will one day be king, and as a little boy, sparred with friends at school, outdoing his peers with the killer line, 'My dad will be king, so you better watch out.'" Now, there's a threat you don't hear every day. The book also sheds some light on how Will and Kate are parenting their 3 children in such a high-pressure and unusual environment, sharing, "They are raising their children, particularly Prince George, with an awareness of who he is and the role he will inherit, but they are keen not to weigh them down with a sense of duty." CNN reported in August that Kate and William, who is now second in line to the throne, wanted to move their children out of London and away from the trappings of royal life during the school term. An insider even claimed at the time that the family didn't have plans to hire any live-in help. Prince George and his siblings, Charlotte and Louis, had quite a lot going on during their first few days of school.
This is the first time all 3 children of the Cambridges are going to be at school together.
The siblings began attending Lambrook School in Berkshire in September and attended a welcome afternoon with their famous parents on September 7th.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Sadly, tragedy struck one day later when Queen Elizabeth II died, and their dad, Prince William, had to miss their official first day after being called to Balmoral to say goodbye to his grandmother. As for Kate Middleton, she opted to stay behind to welcome her children home from school, give them some stability, and reportedly break the news of the Queen's death to them. And it seems like the children were well aware of what was going on before saying their final goodbye to their late great-grandmother, as they saw everything while going to and from their new school. Speaking to a royal fan during an appearance at Windsor Guildhall on September 22nd, Kate explained per Hello, "When we've been doing the school run, we've been able to see the preparations going up. We've seen it growing. It must have been quite a mission. Having gone backwards and forwards last week, we could see it slowly growing." William and Kate have both offered updates on how their children have been settling in at their new school despite the difficult circumstances that surrounded their first few days. Kate shared how school has actually helped them to cope with the sad loss of their great-grandmother, telling royal watcher and photographer Karen Anvil in footage shared to Twitter, "They're in school being well looked after, they're in a routine and they're happy, they're with new friends." In another video posted on Twitter by Anvil, Prince William shared a similar sentiment, saying, "They're doing okay, still first week of school so they're settling in, we're trying to keep everything constant and settled for them." A well-wisher then pointed out that the kids were more than likely speaking about Queen Elizabeth's death with their new school friends, to which William responded, "They are. There's a lot of talking." Prince George and Princess Charlotte later attended their great-grandmother's funeral, saying their goodbyes to their father's beloved grandmother as the world mourned. Charlotte even made it very clear that she was already brushing up on the royal etiquette she'll have to follow her whole life, as she was spotted telling her older brother to bow as Queen Elizabeth's coffin passed them. It seems like Charlotte and George are both keenly aware of their roles, and certainly their father's role in the royal hierarchy. Hopefully, it doesn't go to their heads.